Guys, welcome back to Mansell Media Corner, and today I'm going to talk about the year of 1990 in terms of media and pop culture. So let's start with the films. I'm going to do the very first shout out to an awesome YouTuber, Jamie Powell. I know he's a big fan of this franchise, but it's the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that came out this year. Then we got a really good film in Awakenings with the late great Robin Williams, and I think it's Robert De Niro. Then we got one with Johnny Depp, Winona Ryder, and it was directed by Tim Burton. But it's Edward Scissorhands. It's one of the last appearances of the late great Vincent Price in film. Then we got Pretty Woman, which is Julia Roberts and Richard Gere together for the first time, I think. Then we got a really great film in Problem Child with the blinking image appearance of the legendary the late great Kerry Von Erich. But really fun film. And then we got Ghost. I remember seeing this with my mum, and I think it was the UCI in Merry Hill, which is a cinema just outside of the shopping mall or shopping complex, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's Ghost with Demi Moore, the late great Patrick Swayze, and Whoopi Goldberg. We got Mermaids with Bob Hoskins and Cher. Then we got Child's Play 2, which I think got banned. Can't remember if it was to do with James Bulger, but something like the film or the film cover got banned or something ridiculous. But I'm going to give another shout out to an influencer, in my opinion, the one who made me gain confidence in doing YouTube. But it's my good mate Jim Jam Movies TV, which is James Millership, and it's one of his favourite franchises. Don't know if he's ever seen this one, but it's Never Ending Story 2. And then we've got Dick Tracy, which has got the legendary Warren Beatty, Madonna, and I think it's Al Pacino or Robert De Niro, one of the two. But that's Dick Tracy. And one film I remember still to this day I love, Three Men and a Little Lady, which has got Tom Selleck, Steve Guttenberg and Ted Danson. Then Rocky 5, which has got an awesome fight scene at the end. And of course, one of the big films of the year in terms of Christmas. What a classic though. It's a legendary John Hughes. From John Hughes, it's Home Alone. You can see such an iconic image of Macaulay Culkin, who would have been 10 when this film came out. Here's Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci. But what an awesome image that is when he realises the spiders in the bathtub. But still to this day, such an awesome film. Then we got The Witches as well. Then we got Arnie Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop, which I watched recently. again, still to this day, great Arnie film. Then we got Gremlins 2, the new batch. Blinded, what I've never seen. Arachnophobia, I think I've seen bits of, it's okay. But again, another one of Jamie Powell's favourite films back then. It, with the legendary Tim Curry as Pennywise. So, let's talk about television in 1990. You had this guy, if I recall, but I'm going to focus mainly on the Big Four channel. So, in BBC One making a debut, again, one for Jamie Powell. I'll leave his link in the comment, in the box. But it's the legendary Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I remember buying the toys from Astor in Bridal Hill. And Toys R Us, etc. But they were awesome figures and play sets. But you got also making a debut, One Foot in the Grave. The legendary Richard Wilson. Waiting for God as well made its appearance. Round the Twist, what used to be on BBC One on a weekday afternoon for the kids. Of course, can't go wrong with a bit of Hyacinth Bouquet or Hyacinth Bucket, but it's the legendary Keeping Up Appearances, also debuted on this year. Then we got Bump. Who remembers Bump? And Dizzy Heights, another show I think I remember. But on BBC Two, we've got the likes of Ramsay Nesbitt. Have I Got News for You? Still going strong. Twin Peaks. Harry Enfield's television programme. That came out in the 80s, but it's Quantum Leap and Star Trek The Next Generation. But ITV have got about the same as BBC One in terms of classics. You've got the likes of Mr. Bean himself, Rowan Atkinson, Spats, which I remember enjoying when I was a kid. Nellie the Elephant. You've Been Framed, I believe it was Jeremy Beadle, I think it was. Up the Garden Path, I don't know. Maybe my good friend James Millership will let me know in the comments if it ever came out on network or something like that. But we had the likes of Families, which was like a doc soap at the time. The Upper Hand. Art Attack with the legendary Neil Buchanan. Stars in Their Eyes. Virgin Jim. It's, if I recall, they did actually do an episode in Merry Hill when it was still a great place to go shopping. I mean, it is now, but it's not as legendary as it used to be. The Dreamstone, I think it's Jim Henson, but I'm not too sure. How To as well. And Father Downing Mysteries. But then on Channel 4 you had the likes of making a debut this particular year. Cutting Edge, I think it's still going. And you had the likes of the Crystal Maze with the legendary Richard O'Brien. Drop the Dead Donkey, Vicky's Big Night Out. And so I remember very well the word. So yeah, that's some of the big TV shows what made the debut on this particular year, 1990. Pretty daisy. But let's talk about something very sad. It's not an easy subject to discuss, but it's death, especially in like 1990, in terms of like pop culture media. So you've got Gordon Jackson, who was in Upstairs Downstairs. The legendary Ava Gardner, who at one point married Frank Sinatra. Greta Garbo, Barbara Stanwyck. An author who when I was at primary school back in about 1990, I'd read constantly. It's only the legend, the late great Roald Dahl. Stevie Ray Vaughan passed away in this particular year, and of course another icon of pop culture, Jim Henson, of course. What can I say, the Muppet he created. But another legend, Sammy Davis Jr. passed this year. Leonard Bernstein, it was like a film composer for like West Side Story, etc. Jill Ireland, who you may not know who she is, but she was in, I think it was Death Wish 2 with then her husband Charles Bronson. Then Rex Harrison, of course, what can I say? My Fair Lady, Dr. Dolittle. I didn't know this, but he's from Merseyside, so technically Liverpudlian. Then we've got Del Shannon, who was around in the 50s. I think he's did a song called Runaway, or My Little Runaway, something along that. On the legendary Terry Thomas, I think, was in the original Dune from 1984. But something a lot more interesting is births. So we've got a lot of very, very fit ladies. Well, in my opinion now. So you've got the likes of Margot Robbie appears this year. Emma Watson, The Weeknd, very attractive Jennifer Lawrence, Kristen Stewart, Rita Ora, Bill Skarsgård, who's more famous for being Pennywise in the remake of the It franchise. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Sean Kingston, Liam Hemsworth. I think one of Hemsworth is in The Witcher, which is coming up soon on Netflix. But there are some awesome albums coming out this year. In particular, this legendary Judas Priest album. It's only the legendary Painkiller. It introduces the band to Scott Travis, who's what a great drummer he is. It was recorded in 1990. But what an awesome metal album. If you like your classic Judas Priest sound. And, you know, to do with something which I think recently, a couple of days ago or a week now, Snyder kind of released I Do Not Want What I Have Not got. So I think got nothing compared to you. Which originally was written by Prince, but he made it around. Anyhow, we got the legendary Rust in Peace by the legendary Megadeth. The Riser's Edge by AC/DC, which just got Thunderstruck. And I think it's Are You Ready, which was at one point SmackDown's theme tune, which is a WWE show. Then we got another legendary artist who passed away. I think it was 2016, but the impact. Wow, I remember him passing away, everybody was upset. But listen, Without Prejudice, Volume 1 by George Michael. Again, one of my all-time favourite heavy metal bands of all time. It's the mighty Iron Maiden with that. I'm gonna say it's one of the weakest of the albums in the 90s, but it's still a great album. Got the legendary Holy Smoke. Of course, it got Bring Your Daughters to the Slaughter, which Bruce Dickinson. There is in the middle that the song for Nightmare on Elm Street 5. You got Gunner, which I think was another single off this particular album. Speaking of Bruce Dickinson, you've got his own first studio album in Tattooed Millionaire. And then you've got the legendary The Scorpions with Crazy World. And of course, Winds of Change being from that album, which was a big song for them, you know, in the UK charts at the time. But let's talk about like the FA Cup. So you had Manchester United, who beat Crystal Palace on a replay, 1-0. And then Wimbledon, you've got Stefan Edberg for the men's, Martina Navratilova for the females. Then we had Formula 1, you had Ayrton Senna. Wrestling, in terms of wrestling, was a very, very big year for Team WWE. You had the likes of WrestleMania 6, main event pitting the two biggest wrestlers at the time, the Immortal Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. But also you had the Survivor Series 1990. If the story goes, a certain wrestler was going to be the Gobbledygooker, but he didn't want to be him, so it was later known as The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, and if I recall, Hector Guerrero was later known as the Gobbledygook at the Survivor Series. But yeah, I had the debut of the Den Man himself, Mark Calloway himself, The Undertaker. But in the World Cup of this year was the Germans. But what an awesome year in terms of media and pop culture, you know, all things albums, films, so many films to choose from, but yes. Anyhow, guys, please like, share and subscribe to Mansell Media Corner, and I'll be back for, I'm going to say 1991, which is another standout year in terms of like films. But please in the box, share some of your highlights of the year of 1990. what you was doing in that certain year, or what films you went to see, or what toys, etc. What films you got? Well, also I'm gonna put a link in the two guys I've mentioned. Even give my very good friend Hale a mention as well. Really cool guy. But yeah, please subscribe to Jim Jam Movies and TV and Jamie Boland. Small screen, big screen with Hale. But again, they are amazing YouTubers. So yeah, that's the year 1990, and there'll be some more videos coming up, I can assure you. So thank you for watching Man's Media Corner, and good.